Hi, everybody. Nice to talk to you again. This is Fancy Pants, and I'm in the Game Ant Legion. Today, we are going to go over our specialized ants. Now, I have done other videos in the past with different aspects of this, but never one all together. So you can see how it works when you come in after a while as you're working on your nest and you're starting to accumulate more of your gold and your red ants, it's time to revamp your setups. And I'm going to show you in this video how to reorganize your specialized ants and get the most of what you already have so that you can boost your CP fast and be battle ready. Now, to do this, there's like a couple steps to this, and that's why I thought doing this video would be better to do it in one step rather than breaking them apart, because it is something you really have to do all at once to really get the full benefits of it. So we're going to go over why and how to organize your specialized ants. And then we're also going to talk about how to reset them, because we want to reclaim our honeydew and our fruit. And that is going to help us to be able to move those resources into our strongest, which would be our gold and our red ants. And then we're going to, I'm actually doing this as an example from one of our players' nests, one of our alliance members out of her nest, and so we're going to readjust this to make this really work for her and find out what's the best setup that is going to it's really going to change her whole dynamics of her nest and really give her a lot more strength and CP. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to try it out, have her try it out. Obviously, I'm not in her nest, so I'm going to have to show how to do this with my own, but we're going to have her actually do it, and or ask her to actually do it. And then when she is done, take screenshots so we can see the difference that this has made. And you'll see it all changed. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to, like for her particular case, her specialized ants are mostly haste and Malay. Now she's kind of got a close 50-50 on this. Close. But I'm really, and she was going for Malay to start with. Now I'm going to see how much that's going to screw up with her research, but it looks like most of her research has been among them all. And this is what really ties up your resources, because then you're not really focused on one troop type. And that's what we want to do to get really strong in that one troop, at least for this duration of the game, until we get way beyond and really high up there, and then we will start adding into our other troops. Eventually you'll want them all, but to keep up in the game, you really need to focus on one to start with, and then slowly, gradually add in your second, from what I've been told by those much higher than me. So let's do that, and then we're going to. So for her case, we're going to test out the haste versus the Malay. I'm just going to show where to do that at, so she can do it herself, and then we're going to test those formations. I'm going to show you how. And then we're also going to fix this aid section here. I'm going to show you why we should. And that is, these tops need to, they can be readjusted. And by doing that, we're going to make all of these red, because red cannot be aided. So we're going to take out this gold one she's got here on the end, which is a range, so we don't need it really at all, except for CP purposes. So we're going to do something else with that one. But for all intensive purposes, we're going to get that taken out of our top 5 there, and we're going to get another red one up there. And then also we're going to reset these ants that are in aid that we're going to take out. We're going to test them, because I am not sure if she put them in here with CP. I'm going to check with her to find out if she knows. But is a way to test this if you're not sure, and that is by taking them out and regaining that honeydew and those fruits that might be in there and putting in them back. Now, it does cost some diamonds to do that, but it'd be worth it to get that back. But if you know, it's okay. You don't have to do that, but it is an option if you're not sure. And then also, we are, I'm going to go over where to get, when we recycle different, once we get all of our blues and our purples, we have no more need for those ant shards once they're at their full capacity. So we can recycle them. So I'm going to go over real quick how to do that and where they go and where to get them recycled into something you can actually use. So we're going to talk about that real quick. And we're going to talk just briefly about the difference between stars, which is your fostering, versus your actual ant levels, the level that will show like this 310 here, um, the difference between the stars and the levels. And then we're also going to have to, in order to move things out of aid or put them, I think even to put them in, I'm pretty sure, that your legacies need to be removed. You just have to remember to put them right back as soon as it gets moved. So you have to unattach them and reattach them. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to and talk about rebalancing your teams regularly. You want to do this on a regular basis as your nest changes. You just kind of reassess everything and make sure that it's still working for you the best that it should be. So with this setup, we're going to first get into what do we do first. The first thing I did was I went in here and I looked at what her specialized ants are. Now, the ones that are actually in aid already are going to be in blue instead of white. You see the where it says the level, it is in blue. So I looked at these and I saw what levels they were to start with, and then also what she had most of, what troop type, what ones are um, are going to be more beneficial. Now, the ones with the most stars are going to be your stronger ones. The red ones on top here, this leptonology, I always call it the lep because I don't know how to say it, but the lep one here, that's her strongest one because it's at the top. It puts them in order of their strength. So this one here is a haste, but yeah, that one is a pure haste. Now she's only one shard away from 2 stars there. So one of the first things she's gonna want to do is work on getting that last shard because that's really gonna make a difference. So I'm gonna show you how that makes a difference. Now her rock ant here is not even a star yet. So that's not real strong. The Aztecia now, she has she right now was going for a Malay with this nest. Now that one would be good for her Malay, but she don't really have a lot else to go with it. Now, even though this Lumina shows that it's a Malay, it's really an army ant. It'll go with any of your chosen troop types. So don't let them fool you, okay? The ones that are army ants, they are very beneficial for any troop type. So in this case, looking at what she has, now this is just a part of hers, and then they go on to her second part of the page, which will show mostly her blues and her purples. But in this case, I'll show the second one in a minute, but here's what I want her to do is what I would suggest is I definitely would keep my jumper. That is an army ant, so I'm going to show you guys that one. And then she's also probably going to want to keep her Lumina, which is also an army ant, and it has quite a few stars already as well. These, even though these say 310 levels right now, when she changes her aid setup, it will jump these to 350. So that's going to make a huge difference right there. And these stars are going to be very beneficial to her. So she's going to want to run these two in her main. I'm going to have her test it too, ask her to put these in a lineup. Um, and then something that I want to mention too is when she does this and makes these changes, I should probably do this so she remembers. So she's going to want that one and this one to run with either troop type she picks. Now, if she wants to test them out, she can, but I can pretty much guarantee that haste is going to be a better choice for her, even though she has 2 stars on her giant. So if she wants to test it out, I would say for Malay, test this one with this one because they do have full stars. And then the Lumina and the Jumper I would use with both of these runs. Now let me go ahead and switch to the second page. So that's 4 right there for a Malay test, okay? And then I think I did make a note here. So 1 second, I'll check on that. Okay, and then she also has this harvester down here, which is a Malay, and it has, even though you can't see it because it's cut off on here, but that has 3 stars plus 2 shards on the going on towards the 4th. So if she was going to test this out, I would choose those, and then I'm going to show her where to test that at. Now, her other way she could go would be with haste, and if she's going to do haste, then I would test this out. I would start with, well, for sure, I think I would still for sure keep the jumper in no matter what she does. But, and then I would probably be, and this is her strongest one, I would use this for haste. Now her rock ant is not even 1 star yet. No, but I would keep an eye on it as it starts gaining shards. But the I forget. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's the leptongy, and the rock use the same ant shards. I'm almost positive. So in that case, I would go towards the lep first, and this rock ant, it is half haste and half Malay. So there is some, but it's just not strong enough yet to use in either run. Now down the road, should want to go back and check on if it's stronger by then, if it has more stars and has more levels and things like that. But it definitely would need more stars if it would then be stronger than one of these other ones that are gold, such as the giant or the harvester. um, but for now, I would focus on the lepingy. I would make it a priority to try to get that star complete on the second one and onward. But that would be first off. And then this range here, one, the northern leaf cutter, that one is also a haste, but it doesn't even have a full star yet. Eventually, in my nest, I know I use all of these. I use the northern and the rock and the lep, and it is actually my strongest ant. So, but you see her level's only at 222. If that was the same level as these other ones up here, it would be at the top. It is your strongest. So, if once that star gets up, you're going to definitely want to use that if you're in a haste situation. So down the road, that would, your rock and your northern are ones you're going to want to get built up. It might take a while, but when it does, then you're going to be doing these changes again. So keep that in mind. But for now, I would say no to that one. But I would do definitely jumper. You want to do longhorn. It is one I used for a very long time. In fact, I still am right on the cusp with it. If it gets any larger again, I'll be putting it back in my run with my haste, but I would test that one for sure. It does have 3 stars, and it's got one little shard again, and you get these in a lot of specialized ant events that go on. So it's one that can be upgraded fairly easily. Not real easy, but easier than some of the others. So those are two there. The other one that she could use in her haste lineup and that I would suggest would be, and again, it's cut off, but it's this fire ant here. That's a very good one. I still use that one. I mean, I've used that one for a very long time. It's one that's easier to get shards on. So is the jumper. So those are ones I would suggest, and so is I think it's the Pomeranian. I think I'm gonna have to look at that one to be sure. But so for haste we have, what do we have? Did it go away? Oh, I just couldn't see it. So for haste we have Longhorn, the Lep, the Fire Ant. And again, like I said, later we will check on the other two. And then I would test out the jumper and the Lumina with those haste ants. So I would do the test on the Malay versus the haste, and I'm going to show you how to test them. See which one would give you the most points out of that. And then she also has a Pomeranian right here. It's cut off too. It's the last one here on the bottom. That one is also an army, so it could be used for either one. Her stars on this are 2 plus 2 shards, which is good, but it is not as many stars as her jumper and her Lumina. And I don't want to get like all army ants, but she could possibly take out one of these haste or one of the Malay as she's testing and put that in its place and see if it gives her more points right now. But I just don't know without seeing it. So that's a possibility. So you just want to mess around with looking at that to see what's going to work best for you. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of a jump here, and I'm going to go in and show you where to test this first off. And then we're going to come back in with a second video because I know these are getting long. So you can do this in increments, do this part, and then come in, go to the second video in this series and go ahead and we'll go on from there. And then before very little time after that, you're going to have a really improved nest. So let me go ahead and switch over and show you where to test these out at. Okay, to test your lineup, now I'm in my nest, so I can show you how to do this. So you can do this in one or two ways. One is to come in here, and I'm sorry, I forget how loud that is, and go into your rally ground. And if you have this yet, it depends on where you're at in your nest, you would go to your army formation set. And sorry, I'm fending off chihuahuas and roos here. And we want to give kisses every time I'm busy. And okay, and you go to your formation here, and this is where you can test them out. Now this is my setup here. Stop. Oh, I'm in my little nest. I'm like, this don't look right. Fancier's nest. And so what you would do is you click here, and this is where you can move them around. You can take them off, add them on. But as you do this, you'll see that these numbers change. And that's what you want to do. You want to see which one's going to give you the most percentage for your particular chosen troop type. And then, so in this case, with hers, it would be either Malay or haste that she'd want to see these numbers in. This particular nest is arranged. Let me switch over to my haste, so it makes more sense for her. Okay, I'm in Fancy's Nest now, and I actually have mine set up in several runs. Once you get enough troops, you can do this and name them so you know how you want them categorized. And you can go right to them then. And now mine need adjusting because I have made some changes, which I haven't done yet, but that's, you go hit that gear like thing and go into settings, and you'll see this is my haste setup here. And you'll see like this gives me 520 attack setting it up this way. Now my rock ant, I've recently gotten the stars on, so that's why it now took the place of my longhorn, which I used to have in there. So how you check, like just between those two, and what you would do with your own ants, is you would hit this minus, because you know you just want to test, well you, if you're starting out, you would clear it completely by hit clear all, and then put in the ones that we had discussed putting in, add them to it. And then if you just want to take one out and test a different one, you would, I would take out, like, say, this rock ant, and we would put in the longhorn, and we'd see what the difference is in the attack, defense, and hit points. And also, if it's an army ant, they're going to show up here under this army section. Now that will add on to the amount that's already here. So you want to pay attention to that too. That's why an army ant is good for any of these three troop types. Now I have some ants, like my the northern, it is half and half, so it also is a haste. So that's why you'll see it shows up under range, and the other one, my Malay up there, is also half haste. So it's going to show up in both groups, which is great as you get down the road and need different troop types added to your current strongest troop. So that's how we start. And then now I put in that longhorn. You see the difference in these percentages. It's 511, 281 for the other two. We take that out and put that rock back in. We see that this gives us more hit points. It changes also the defense. But we're also looking at the army scale, because this is a red one. It goes up, well, it goes up to 400. I have it at 375 right now, whereas the longhorn is a gold and it only goes up to 350. Now there's other aspects to this that are going to make changes too, like this one is going on its 6-star, not there yet, so it doesn't count completely. It only counts towards adding to your army scale when you add the shards to the star, but once it's a complete star, it is going to make the difference in your percentage points up here. So being it isn't quite a 5-star yet, I mean a 6-star, it's not where it needs to be. Once it is there, like the Ponerine, then this will change too, and then we're going to go back and test it out again to the rock. But by then, who knows, maybe the rock will be there too. So it's always a matter of taking it out, putting it in, see what goes where. See, like now we could take off this rock, put in this one, and see that difference. Now this is an army ant, so is that going to make a difference? Well, actually the jumper has more stars. It's not quite to 2 yet, but once it gets to 2, is that going to make a difference? So this is how you check them. We're going to look at that percentage wise, and then it also will change your army scale by doing this as well. Now if we hit OK on this, now this is my regular run, we come down here to the CP, the cross swords, and that's 248, 109. Now you might have to write these down. I know I do. So but I'm going to try to remember this one in my head. 248, 109. Then we're going to go back, 248, and go in, and we're going to take that back out, 248, 109. And then you have to put this back. And that's 246, 12. So 248.09 is better, right? So we know now by looking at that, that my run the way I had it set up is better. So we're going to go back and take this out. Even though this one also, this longhorn, I'm just going to click on that again, take it out, also has a special skin on it. So, but it's still better to use this one. It is telling me. And because of that, I know my jumper is not going to be better either. So this is the best setup for this particular, for my nest. Okay, so that's how you check it though. You just go in, move it around. Doesn't hurt anything. It's not permanent. If you don't like it, you go back in and you take it back, change it, hit OK. And once you're done, knowing that's the one, you just hit OK. And then it'll say, but you want to, make sure when you do change it back that you slide this back up, because you see that one holds more troops because it is a higher level. So make sure you make that change back too when you do put it back the way it was originally. Alright, so we save that. Now we should be good to go with that on our runs. And then I'm just going to show you where you can also test it if you don't have that in your cave yet. You could do it, act like you're going to run a predator nest, but don't actually do it. You're going to click on it. You're going to hit rally attack, but you're not really going to do it yet. It isn't going to go yet. You just do that, and it'll also take you to the same setup, and you can do the exact same thing as I just did, but in here instead. Then you can hit OK, and then instead of hitting dispatch, you just go back out of it. Click off of it, and you won't make a run, but it's just a way to set up your ants. So that's that part of it. And then I will continue with part 2 after a little bit here. And then I'm going to go ahead and upload this one just so she can get started on this aspect of it. And then we're going to make some more miraculous changes, because once we go in and change that aiding portion of it, it's going to shoot these levels up through the roof. We're going to be adding 40 extra points to that aid, which is going to in turn really shoot up the CP level. And it's also, in this next video coming up, we're going to go over how to reset the ants to get those resources back, to get those levels up higher by recycling that. And we're also going to probably just do that in that video, see how far that gets, and then we're going to go into the next one with recycling the ant shards to get those stars up where we can. And we'll see where we're at after that, I guess. So talk to you guys later. Stay tuned for the next in the series. I appreciate you guys watching. Talk to you later. You are appreciated. Bye bye.